We'll begin this half hour with the man at the center of the political firestorm surrounding the 2016 presidential election, former FBI Director James Comey. Hillary Clinton, of course, blamed him for partially costing her the White House. The FBI opened the Russia investigation under his watch, and the president fired him. Well, now he's out with a new book. It's called A Higher Loyalty, and his comments this week challenging the president's credibility has landed him right back into the middle of the storm. So, Director Comey, good morning. It's good to have you with us.
Great to be with you.
Is it liberating to have your book out there and be talking about it? Is it painful, cathartic? What's your one-word answer on that one?
Terrifying.
Really?
Just because of all the attention to it. I don't crave that. It's hard for me to hide because I'm a giraffe, and so it's a little freaky.
Yeah. You are shorter in person, I did have to say. You know, I don't want to be an armchair psychologist, but I've read the book, I've been watching your interviews. It still seems raw. It feels like you might have some scores to settle, you know, that you might have a little bit of anger left over and a little bit of bitterness. Would you plead guilty to all that?
Yeah, I wouldn't actually. I would take that one to trial because I think it is raw in the sense that I find it really painful to relive. Reading that book, doing the audiobook left me physically drained, but I really don't feel a sense of anger. I'm very worried, actually, which is why I'm doing something I don't love, which is talking about it and writing about it, but not anger.
There's been a lot of reactions to the book so far. Some of the most widely cited parts have to do with your description and words about President Trump. I mean, including calling his skin orange and saying his looked like he had tanning goggles. And, you know, some people said that was kind of, for lack of a better word, that was a little catty. Did you enjoy taking those shots at the president?
No, I didn't think of them as shots, and I still don't.
Really?
Well, you've read the book.
Yes.
You see the description I give of my high school boss in the grocery store. I'm trying to be an author, something I've never been before, and bring the reader into that scene and describe in great detail what I'm seeing. And so I'm not trying to pick on President Trump or my boss from high school.
Yeah, but you're talking about his hair, stuff like that. I mean, I guess some people are saying, wait a minute, James Comey, you just got into the gutter with President Trump, who, you know, is known for his name calling. He's called you a slime ball and a nut job and any number of things. Did you stoop?
I really don't think so. Again, maybe I'm missing it, but I think I'm describing what his hair looks like. In my head, the editor's voice kept bouncing around saying, take the reader with you, take the reader with you. What did you see? What were your impressions?
You don't think you've diminished yourself?
I hope not. And I hope when people read the book, they may have a different view of it than some of the quick hits they've been hearing about.
You have really made some pretty strong assertions against the president. You said he's morally unfit. You said he lies almost constantly. You are the star witness, perhaps, in former Director Mueller's investigation into obstruction of justice. Your testimony against President Trump's testimony. Are you concerned that you've made that prosecution tougher? Because you've now been out there and you've demonstrated that you do have a bias against the president.
Yeah, that was going to be pretty obvious to begin with. He fired me. But from a prosecutor's perspective, my testimony has been locked in since I testified under oath, frankly, since I wrote the memos when the events happened.
Well, he did fire you, but you've gone further than that. There's nothing you can do about that, but you can help what you write. I mean, for example, did you ask Director Mueller, hey, do you mind if I write this book? Do you mind? Is it going to mess up your case?
Not directly, but I submitted the book to the FBI for pre-publication review, and nobody asked me not to do it.
But that's different than the special counsel saying, you know, I don't want to get involved in your case. I don't want to mess up your case. Would it be better if I just don't say anything and keep it clean? You never had a conversation like that?
No, although I know they've known for a long time I've been working on a book.
Okay. Let's talk about the Clinton email investigation. Mm-hmm. You are famous for saying that it made you a little bit nauseous, or nauseated, as you correct in the book, to think that you might have had some impact on the election. And I just wanted to drill down on that because you would acknowledge that you had some impact on the election. We don't know if it was decisive, but you know that what you did in announcing that the Clinton case was going to be reopened and re-examined 11 days before the election, it had some impact, right?
I actually don't know that. I assumed that it might. I hope it didn't, but I'm not expert enough to tell you.
But I mean, it's hard. It's a very complex question whether or not it was determinative of the outcome, whether it all swayed and turned on what you did. But you had to know that it would have some impact.
Well, I assumed it might have some impact, which is what made me realize I was choosing between two terrible options. because we always try and avoid any action in the run-up to an election that might have some impact, but I couldn't find a door that was labeled no action, so I assumed it might have some impact.
Have you tried to look into it now? I mean, there's lots of stuff you can read. You can see that, oh boy, in 3 states it was less than a percentage point that made the decision. You can look at the polls where they were before you announced. I mean, Nate Silver, who's a kind of a political prognosticator, said if the election had been held the day before Hillary Clinton with this announcement was made, she would have won. Have you tried to figure it out now, just to kind of think, all right, was it a decisive factor?
Not to try to figure it out, but I've read a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
And look, it makes me feel nauseated, which I guess is the right way to say it. It may sound strange to say, but it wouldn't change how I thought about the decision at the time. I'm on October 28th. I've got facts in front of me and a decision to make. I wish I had a time machine, but I don't, and I didn't.
Some people say this all really stemmed from, because you felt like in that moment, I got to say something, because I've already said publicly the case is closed, so I sort of have a duty to correct the record. Now it's open again, and it's right before the election. So here's the impossible situation you find yourself in. But, you decided that you were going to announce unilaterally that you did not recommend charges against Hillary Clinton. You did that in the summer. That was unorthodox. That was unprecedented. Why didn't you just go to the Justice Department and say, this is my recommendation?
Because I thought that would do grievous damage to the public confidence in the Justice Department, that I had to choose the least bad option to try to preserve public faith that we had done the investigation in a competent and independent way.
But is the system set up that FBI investigators investigate, prosecutors decide whether to prosecute? In this case, you performed both those functions because, as I understand it, you thought the Attorney General appeared compromised.
Yeah, that's right. No doubt it's unorthodox. It's unorthodox to be investigating one of the 2 candidates for president in the middle of the election. So I hope no one will ever have to confront that again, but there's no doubt it was really unprecedented.
Why didn't you just go straight to Sally Yates, who was the Deputy Attorney General, who I don't think was accused of having any kind of conflict, and say, this is what I think you should do, as opposed to saying, I'm not going to tell them, I'm going to go publicly, I'm going to announce it, and I'm going to step out into it and make this statement that Hillary Clinton shouldn't be charged, but that she was extremely careless?
That's a fair question. And the reason was the Attorney General had already announced publicly she was not going to recuse herself. And she's both my boss and Sally Yates's boss. And so I didn't think it would make much of a difference, the decision having been announced publicly. And by the way, we'd be in the same terrible position in October, even if I had done the normal thing back in July.
But let's talk about your interactions with President Trump, because we certainly heard your testimony in Congress, and you get into it in the book. What I took away from it was there were many moments that made you deeply uncomfortable. And in your telling, the president is doing things that are inappropriate. For one thing, in the first meeting with all the intelligence leaders, kind of gaming out the political consequences of Russia's interference in the election. Later asking you for your loyalty, according to your testimony. Later saying, I hope you can let the Flynn investigation go, according to your testimony. Why, in all of those situations, did James Comey, of all people, not stand up to the president? You're the person most famous from your time as the Deputy Attorney General, going in to the bedside of John Ashcroft and standing up to the White House. I mean, that's your reputation. Why wouldn't you speak up to President Trump?
Well, I guess the question is, what does standing up mean in that context? I stared at him, didn't blink, didn't make a sound.
You say that's inappropriate. Are you asking me to let go of an ongoing criminal investigation?
Yeah, maybe. That's a fair question. But if he didn't know it was inappropriate, why did he kick out the Vice President and my boss, the Attorney General? And so I don't know whether I should have done it differently, but in the moment, it seemed like the thing to do was just make sure you're not agreeing to do something inappropriate.
Let me ask you to put your old prosecutor's hat on. Obstruction of justice. I know it's complicated, but let's take, and we don't know all the facts, but let's take 2 undisputed facts. You were fired, and you were investigating the president with regard to Russia collusion and the campaign's connection to Russia's interference. And 2, he told an interview, NBC's Lester Holt, that when he fired you, the Russia investigation was at the forefront of his mind. Okay, so that's action, and that is, I think, tells you intent. On those facts alone, do you have a pretty strong case of obstruction?
You might. It would depend upon what all the other facts were around that about his intent that I can't see and that you can't see yet.
So you really haven't made a judgment in terms of just the publicly available evidence?
Well, my judgment is it could be obstruction of justice, but before you brought a case, and there's a legal question as to whether you can bring a case against the president, you'd want to know, so what was he talking about around that conversation? What's in writing? What do the emails say, to give a clear picture of his mental state?
Do you think you'd ever run for president or any other political office?
Never.
Well, that was a very direct answer,
Yeah.
very un-Washington-like.
Yeah, never. I wanted to say it again, so my wife heard it twice.
Never, never, never.
Yeah.
Got it. James Comey, thank you so much. Thanks for your time and taking the questions. Again, the book is called A Higher Loyalty.
Hello, Today fans. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking that button down there and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives.